G'day guys, welcome back to SuperCoach with DR. Hope you're all going well, and I hope that you had a more successful round 2 than I did. As you can see, my round 2 rank was 53,873. My season rank is almost 25,000 now, so yeah, I went down in the rankings by, 17,188. My total score, it's in the top 15%, 4,304, but I always like to be at least in that top 5% if possible. So, yeah, well, why did I have such a poor round? Well, a lot of it came down to my decision making and the fact that I actually broke some of my golden rules in Supercoach. I said that I was going to take a few risks, and unfortunately, those risks, well, two of those risks didn't pay off. So, we'll have a look at the side, and then I'll talk about the final changes that I ended up making. So, Sicily, Houston, Doherty in the back line as those premium breakout contender, fallen premium. Sicily and Doherty, not too bad there with 90s. Nothing like a Howe, who I'd love to have in the side. And look, who knows what I'm going to do with my trades this week. So they're okay, but Houston worries me with the 60. Look, I'm going to give him another week or two. I'm not going to cut my losses yet. I've still got a slight glimmer of hope. It's not a great amount of hope, but I'm going to give him another couple of weeks. But if he dishes out another 60 odd, then he's gone for me. Can't afford to have him at that price. Noble, disappointing with a 41. I'm sort of expecting a 65 plus from him most weeks, given what we've seen in the past from him. But yeah, you expect these lower scores with a bloke that costs you just over 200k. Zerk Thatcher didn't play. Brander 58 did what I thought he'd do between 50 and 60. This is a big surprise, Starcevic, but I'll certainly take it. The closest bloke I got to 100. So if you had said to me that Starcevic would be your highest scoring defender before the start of the round, I'd said you're absolutely having a laugh. I don't even think that he'll play in the side. But he started on the field and started really, really well. And he's cemented his spot in the side for at least the next 2 to 3 weeks, you'd think. Rivers was a change that I did make, so Robertson had to come out. That, yeah, sent my trade plans into chaos because I was 100% keeping Robertson due to his job security. Yeah, funnily enough. But given the fact that he was omitted, I thought that's not a great sign. He's got to go out. So I made a bit of money downgrading there to Rivers. Neil, absolute monster, 171. A few people had a bit of a laugh at me when I said in the preseason that I think this bloke could improve on his last season, and people said there's no way he's got to go down. But he's that professional, coming into his prime as a footballer. I think really enjoying his time in Brisbane, and a great captaincy option. Yeah, I'll get to who I captained in a minute. And before I traded this player in, I had the captaincy on Neil, unfortunately. McRae worries me with that wing role. Bailey, not Williams, I always say Williams Smith. Bailey Smith came into that midfield, took all of his centre bounce attendances, particularly in the first half. I don't think he got in there in the first half. I was watching it pretty closely. Spent a little bit of time in there in the second half, but by then the damage was done. He actually had a pretty good start, McRae. I think he was in the 40s, you know, just at the start of the second quarter, but obviously didn't kick on from there. Cripps not concerned about. I'll skip the next two. Real, absolute monster. Could this bloke be a keeper? Who knows? I'll tell you what, though, with the 171, could he be an M8? We never know. But I won't be trading him right up until the end, or if I really have to. Pickett, disappointing. McInerney, yeah, 48. Scored an 81, but, I wasn't expecting another 81. Brown, I kept on getting him confused with his brother, Callum, who played a really, really good match. But does he stay in the side? I think so, with a 43. Buderick, better than his 40 odd in round 1, 62. Make us some good cash at his starting price, which is terrific. Bernal, so he was the other one that I traded in. This one went against all of my Supercoach rules, but actually paid off, I think, in the end. So Green went out for Bernal. Or do you say Benal? I've always said Bernal. Some people say Benal. I'll keep on saying Bernal. If it's wrong, it's wrong. But yeah, everything about him, warning signs, red flags, injury history, but it's his talent. And it was the fact that I thought if he gets through this week, and it's a risk, but if he gets through this week, I think that he'll play again next week because he's such a talented player. So, yeah, he did what I wanted him to do. A 60, that's fine with me. And if he plays next week, he starts making money. So I wanted to get in a little bit earlier on him. And then onto these two, Dangerfield and Viney. So Viney came in for Oliver. Big loss in points there, but look, I wasn't expecting, another high 100 from Viney. I thought, 85 plus is probably where he's at. 85 probably at the lowest side of things, so score that 86. But yeah, can't complain because he made his 50 odd K. Now, Danger, I'll tell you what, I'd made the decision 20 minutes before the game. Nah, he's not in. I was actually at my old man's 70th, and we were about to watch the footy sit down together, and I was having a chat to him with SuperCoach. He plays SuperCoach, and I said, well, I was going to go Dunkley to Dangerfield, but, I'm backing my gun on Dunkley. And he said, oh, mate, you're crazy. If you don't go Dangerfield, he's going to kill it in the next month, And he, outlined all the reasons that I outlined in one of my previous videos about why I like the Dangerfield pick with the revised fixture. And so I thought, well, it's his 70th. He's probably got some luck. I said I'll, go a little bit crazy, do stuff that I wouldn't normally do. And in the heat of the moment, I brought Dangerfield in and even whacked the captaincy on him. I took the captaincy off Lachie Neale and whacked it on Dangerfield. So, you wouldn't believe it. Dunkley, of course, comes out with his 130. Did what I thought he'd do, why I selected him in the preseason and why I didn't leave my side since the day one of the team picker, Dunkley. But it is what it is. I regret the decision, but hopefully Danger repays the faith a little bit and bangs out a couple of really big scores in the next few weeks for me. In the rucks, Grundy was injured, so 115, still a good effort from him. Segler, 71, wasn't a great score, gave away a couple of free kicks. Didn't have a heap of hit-outs to advantage, but he did have some nice possessions. Had a few contested possessions as well, which was nice. But yeah, I'd want a little bit more from Segler. Be wanting 85 to 90 at a minimum almost now. I think, are they too high, those expectations? I'm not too sure. But yeah, I'd be expecting more from Segler, particularly playing number one ruck as well. Naismith didn't play, spewing about that. Would love for him to be making money because I need Max Gawn ASAP. I think he could kill me. And that's one thing we talked about in another video that, Gawn owners after round one, I said, don't panic because he'll probably come out and absolutely smash it. And who knows what's going to happen with Naismith. We can't count all of our chickens yet. And of course, what happens? Gawn comes out, absolutely monsters it, and Naismith doesn't even play. So he's still not making any money, unfortunately, Naismith. So there you go. Martin, disappointing. Petraka, absolute gun. Started like a house on fire and just played a solid game the whole way through. Really impressed with his performance. I think the shorter quarters will really assist him. So, yeah, one of my favourite picks this year, Petraka. Brayshaw, 88. Obviously didn't set the world on fire, but a lot better than the 66 I think he got last match. There's obviously a 22-point improvement on that. Will he be a keeper? Probably not, but I don't think he's going to lose you too much cash and be pretty consistent, hopefully between 70 to 100. Smith, 105. Everyone's got him. 105 the previous week. Lock him in, I think, as your D6 at this stage. Now, Long, this is the other trade that I made. Spewing on this one now. The reason behind making it, well, I got Kavara out, so a non-playing player out, I suppose, and Long still made money. But yeah, the issue was that I didn't want to have too many rookies playing on field. So I got Long into the side because I thought not only would he make some quick cash, hopefully, but he's got a good role in off half back there. He's had that in round one. He's had that in the preseason. But one thing I did also say was I'm a little bit worried that Hunter Clark may be the man that they want to get the ball in his hands. And that was the case, Even, when they were attacking, Long would seem to run, at the most up to the halfway point and not really go past that. Then he'd sort of zone off. And he always seems like he was zoning off on a player. So, yeah, didn't have the role that I expected him to have. I thought he'd be a lot more attacking, but I didn't see any attack from Long. So that really does concern me. Taylor, what a brilliant pick. I thought it could have been a once-off in the first round. But, yeah, he's shown us 2 solid weeks in a row that he should be a pretty good scorer for us. So, yeah, love the Taylor pick, but regretting a Long picking away now. And I also thought, I don't want to field Max King, because obviously I moved Segler into the forward line, and he comes out and scores a 77. So I worked out between Oliver to Viney, Dunkley to Dangerfield, not fielding King instead of Long, which obviously I would have done, and not having Neale as captain, which I would have done if I hadn't brought in Danger. I had it on Neale. Yeah, anyway, moving on. I would have gained an extra 176 points if I hadn't made those trades. So I lost 176 points, which isn't fantastic. But look, as I said, it is what it is. And yeah, I'm just making some moves at this stage and trying to take a few risks that I wouldn't usually take. So for my trades this week, well, I really want to bring in Darcy Cameron. I think that he will come in. Who does he come in for? Well, I need to have a really good think about that. I'm not too sure at this stage. Sam Sturt, if he comes in, really interested in getting him into the side as well. Look, Jeremy Howe, the way he's played, and I watched that game, and gee, he played out of his skin, I think. But again, I thought, gee, that round one could have been a bit of a once-off. He'll go back down. But if he continues to play like he did on Thursday night, then I'd go close to saying that he's a must-have. I really, really would. So he'll be 500 plus before we know it. So he's someone that I may need to look to try to get in. But how do I do it? I'm not too sure. I'd have to go get rid of someone like a Long and go up from a Zerk Thatcher or something. But yeah, I'll have to see. I'll have to have a bit more of a think about my trades. But yeah, as I said, I hope you went a little bit better than I did. If you got any questions, guys, well, you can put them down below, but I don't know if you'd want me answering them after a couple of the moves that I made. But look, I do have 200k in the bank, so I did make 200k, which is really, really handy. I can use that to make a move this week if I do decide to upgrade, but I may take a risk and even double downgrade again if I can find the right players to downgrade to and the right players to get in. The right players would be Sturt and Darcy Cameron for me at this stage. So let me know what you're doing, guys, down there in the comments. Hope everything's going well, as I said, and I'll see you again soon in the next one. Take care, guys. Bye.